Hey, good morning. This is Tim Ealer. Hope you all doing well this morning. And we have snow going on in the central U.S. once again, with some precipitation moving off the east coast of the U.S. to southeast coast, with some lake effect snow um, over the northeast corridor this morning. My phone responded to me. Isn't that nice? I don't know why I did that, but anyway, um, so yeah, we got a lot of snow going on right now. The systems in the central U.S. Not particularly heavy right now, and maybe some freezing rain in Oklahoma. Um, Marginal temperatures there. Take a look at the temps real quick. Yeah, approaching freezing in parts of Oklahoma, so any precipitation reaches the ground will be freezing rain. Some snow. I'm not certain why this is showing up as rain here, but this is all snow, guys. Down here in the south, it's rain, but the rest of it's snow. You can see the temperatures up here. 0, 3, negatives, the negative single digits, negative teens up here into Montana, North Dakota, Minnesota. Brutally cold right now. Even into Wisconsin, parts of Chicago in the teens this morning. Anyway, this system here is forecast to generally move to the east. And I'll link up with some precip. The system really trying to get organized here along the Gulf Coast and generally move up this way. Bring some beneficial rain to the mid-south here, the deep south, and there'll be a snow event generally in this area here. There'll be a sharp rain snow line I'll set up here. And it's still uncertain where this will be, right? You see the temps aren't particularly cold up here right now. So, yeah, so these are the temps and where the precip is. And so I think next we're going to go over the short-term forecast as far as this system and its impacts, right? And then we'll go over a little bit longer term, longer range, where we think systems will go, and the persistent pattern that will be in place in the coming days, and kind of talk about temperatures, severe weather, excessive rainfall, things like that. And I can't do a pinpoint forecast for every location here where the snow is going to be, because it's just a lot of areas. And you'll see that in the hazard weather outlook in a minute, which we'll go over next. So, as you can see, we have a large area here with under winter weather advisory, spanning from the central U.S. all the way up to the northeast. Winter storm watch into the northeast here, where the heaviest snow amounts are expected to be, and along the spine of the Appalachians, where there'll be potential ice accumulations, and down here as well, where there'll be potential ice accumulations, winter weather advisory, and in the Colorado mountains, you have a high wind warning up here as well, and up here in the northeast, not northeast, in the northwest Idaho area, Montana, winter weather advisory, some snow up there, and freeze warning in the California mountains, in the desert southwest here. It's a freeze watch closer to the coast, and a high wind warning or wind advisory here right along the coast today. And you have a few areas here along the Great Lakes where you had a winter storm warning or winter weather advisory this morning. So what I'm going on showing you here is the NAM model and its thoughts about the model output, simulated radar, showing where it initializes and where we think the snow is going to go, right? Overall, I think it's handling current conditions pretty well. This is as of 7 a.m. We can move back to 5. Just some light snow here, potentially freezing rain here in Oklahoma City, some rain down into Texas. Move through, and you have the southern stream energy here, and you have it meeting up with the low pressure coming off the front range of the Rockies. See that snow shield expands here with some ice into Memphis, well, Arkansas, heavy rain in the in Houston area, and likely heavy snow again in the St. Louis area, Jefferson City. Light precip here in between these two systems. They're not really totally linked up yet, although the moisture pool is pretty far to the north. Snow all the way up to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, all the way up into Canada, right? And move through time. Maybe some ice in the North Georgia mountains. And this is tonight. So this system is moving pretty quick here. All right, so ice in the Appalachians, Charleston, West Virginia, starting off as snow in the high terrain. Well, in the Appalachians anyway, here in the between the Pennsylvania Maryland border here, most of Pennsylvania, Ohio, up into New York. This is where the forecast gets tricky. You see, when we zoom into this, here's your low pressure, here's the rain snow line, and you have ice right in the middle of it. And where it looks like with this model, you may get some freezing precip on the onset for the big cities, but not looking like for the I-95 corridor where you're going to have a big snow event. But to the north here, and even on the back side of it, you may get some snow right on the back side of it. But you see where the heaviest snow sets up here. Boston may be getting pretty heavy snow totals here as the low moves offshore. Strengthens some, moves out. Yeah, so interestingly enough, we have another system on its heels here, moving to the north. That may bring some more snow to the far north. Maybe some snow hanging on here in the Nantucket into Maine. Yeah, so you have another system then developing here, and this is December 3rd, Wednesday at 1 p.m., right? So if we compare this to, let's just say, one of the global models like the Euro, step it back a little bit. This is U00Z, right? 7 a.m. Depicts this pretty well, initializing it. Interesting the way it handles this. And you compare it to the NAM. The name has more precip further west than the Euro does. Let's look at the wrap. Wrap doesn't get that far out. Yeah, so the forecast can be tricky for the East Coast, right? But it's looking more likely that it's with an AM3K. More resolution here. Yeah, it's showing pretty much the same thing, guys. Rain snow line is going to probably be to the north there. So the big cities are probably going to miss out on this event. Just a little bit too warm. Push of warm air. So, yeah. So what's driving this? We can look at that real quick. So this is a vorticity map. Move my ugly mug off of there. We start off today at 5 a.m. We have energy down here in the central plains. You have energy down here in the deep south. This energy pushes south here. They looks like they kind of merge right up in here, right? This is where you start giving your heaviest precip along the coast. What looks like another vorticity max moving through on Wednesday, right? Then that clears out. Another vorticity maximum moving through the Great Lakes. A system dives down through the south here, and you start getting more snow out here in Denver area. We go back and look at the snow totals as forecast by the NAM. All right. Generally 1 to 2 inches for the central plains. Cumberland Plateau, potentially 5 inches in the higher terrain. Harrisburg, potentially could be in one of the heavier snow bands, right? Eastern PA will be right on the edge here of the snow, right? The higher amounts will move to the north here. You can see where the highest amounts are expected here. Newton, Salem, Brockton, potentially 15 inches. Portsmouth, so Poughkeepsie, maybe getting in on this. So you know, there's you can see the delineation here, right? You get from feast to famine where this system goes, right? We get further to the west here. You have some upwards of 8 inches here into Denver, Colorado area. Yeah. Parts of Colorado could get on it too. And that's more later in the period, if you look at this here real quick. And we showed you that on the other map. So, yeah, and up here into Montana, Idaho, could get 9-10 inches of snow as well through December 3rd. So it looks like also Nova Scotia potentially could get some really heavy snow. All right, so Ice. Let's do total ice accumulation. So this is a total ice accumulation through December 3rd. Little Rock, Arkansas, Memphis, Tennessee, Clarksville, maybe Bowling Green, Huntington, Charleston, West Virginia. In the mountains here is where we're expected the most highest amounts. Quarter inch of ice could be rough. And right along the maybe along the I-95 corridor, a little bit west here in Allentown, Reading, Harrisburg, Hartford, Providence, Boston. And we switch back to snow. Boston, it's weird because it shows ice and snow here, so it could be a mixed bag right in the Boston area, so we'll just have to see how that plays out. As far as excessive rainfall, and we haven't talked a lot about rain yet, but there's a threat for flooding with this southern stream energy here along the Gulf Coast into parts of Alabama and Georgia today. And the precip amounts, interestingly enough, are not that high. I'm not sure why they are considering this excessive rainfall, but day 1, 6 hours. Let's go through this here. Yeah, so you can see how the precip is moving here, right? Starts off into Texas, moves further to the east. Highest amounts, maybe 1 inch or 2 inches down here along the Florida Panhandle. Moving to the east here, potentially 1 inch of rain in parts of Georgia, right, for today. So really weird how it shows the daily being that way. Anyway, I don't think we're going to have a huge flooding risk here in Georgia, given the antecedent conditions of being so dry, but we'll just have to see. For tomorrow, no flood risk for the continental U.S. Day after, no excessive rainfall risk. And then more so than the stream energy gets into play here. Louisiana, New Orleans, Houston. Live in Houston County, Georgia. And day 5, we get this excessive rainfall again here in the southeast, South Carolina, New Orleans. So, we could potentially have some heavy rain, right? And we look at the total precip totals, day 1 through 7, possibilities here. Possible up to 4 inches here for central Georgia into southeast Alabama, right along the Gulf Coast. Parts of South Carolina, along the North Carolina coastline, and out west here on the west coast of the U.S. So thankfully we're getting some heavy rain down here in the south. That's good news. Severe weather. We have a marginal risk here along the Gulf Coast today of severe weather. Likely a frontal boundary in this general area, and some moisture pull and some higher instability right on shore here. Not very far on shore, but it's driven by tornado risk here, interestingly enough. Wind risk. No hail risk, which I didn't expect there to be. Go to day 2, this moves further east. So, well, likely some, maybe this surface low that's developing is creating enough vorticity for this to pose a slight risk here. All right. So tornado risk is there again. Wind risk and not likely a hail risk with this. All right. So go back to categorical day 3. General thunderstorms along the Texas coast, Louisiana coast, and New Orleans. And probabilistic day 4 through 8. Don't show anything. So that's severe weather, the flooding risk, right, which is minimal. Small severe risk, but the biggest threat in the short term through Wednesday is a snowfall. Moving through the central U.S. into the Ohio Valley, into the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast, and icing in the Appalachians, potentially, in parts of the in Mississippi Valley, Lower Mississippi Valley, in the next couple days. As far as future temps go, you can see where the coldest area is starting off. Let's slow this down a little bit. All right. Sometimes this doesn't load, so bear with me. See where the coldest area is through December 2nd, right? Pushing pretty far to the south, 40s, 50s for the highs. Generally pretty cool here, guys. For most of the week, except with the exception of towards the end of the week here. Coldest temps actually today, right up here in the northern high plains. Quite cold in the middle part of the country. A real cold air push into the east here, or to the south. You can see toward the end of the period where we end up with the coldest air. You stop this. Up into the northern high plains, with some colder air hanging in the northeast. This is likely to push further to the east in the long term. And warm temps returning to Texas overnight. That's overnight or not. That's at 1 p.m. That's during the day, sorry. Into Florida as well. As far as the day to 8 to 14 hazards, we got a slight risk of heavy precip along the west coast of the U.S., 8th through the 14th. All right, and today the 1st of December, so makes sense. Snow risk, slight risk of heavy snow along the dotted areas here in purple. Great Lakes, Northeast, lake effect favored areas, right? And the Intermountain West, the higher terrain favored areas here. Slight risk of high winds here along the west coast of the U.S., northwest coast, the 8th through the 10th. Slight risk of hazardous temperatures here in the upper Midwest and into the extreme northeast U.S. Day 6 through 10 temperature outlook. Below normal hanging in there for the northeast, and in the west staying above normal. Precip chances, above normal precip chances return out west here and maintain themselves along the east coast, but in the desert southwest into the middle part of the country is going to be either below normal to near normal in the central U.S. Colder temps hang on here the 8th through the 14th of December for much of the mid-Atlantic and northeast, near normal in the deep southeast. All the way, you see delineation here of the cold and warm air, right? Pretty evident. Precip chances, pretty dry in the out west into the central U.S. and the deep south, most of Texas. to near normal precip chances for the southeast, the mid-Atlantic, and above normal precip chances for most of the northern tier of the U.S. And this is a week 3 to 4 temperature outlook, issued the 28th. It'll be issued the 5th again, December 5th. Valid December 13th through the 26th. You see where the coldest temps are expected to be, with the boundary here bisecting the United States, right? Precip chances either equal, above, and below normal chances for a good portion of the U.S., with the areas in green above normal and below normal in the brown areas. So, yeah, that's all I got for today, guys. I hope you all have a good day today, and God bless.